Hey, cool. So I got you on here. We're live. I actually could put you on Facebook too if you have a Facebook account. But
Yeah, yeah,
you do. Let me see.
yeah. I do have on Facebook.
Add viewer. Let me see
I
what the
think I
name.
already added you.
Yeah, I think it's what Sally. I think you put. What's the last name again?
Sylla.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay,
Just get the invite. You got the invite now. I just
okay.
sent it to you. You see it?
Right now I'm not in front of the computer.
Oh. All right. So, let me see. All right. Let's just do the audio for now, I guess. Since I
Okay.
got you. All right. So, what was your question? We're live.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My question is that well, how do you get capital when you have no capital to start the business, and every lender is telling you no. So how can you start if you don't have any way to get a loan or borrow money? So how does one start a business with zero capital?
That's a good question. So, let me just make sure we're clear. So, Sal's question is going to be how to start a business with no capital at all. That's one. And two, if he goes to the bank, how can he get funding without having any capital, like any records, any no revenue streams, no nothing. Is that correct? That's what you're saying?
Correct, and bad credit. I guess that's
And bad
way.
credit. Cool. So no credit, no money, no capital, no business credit, no revenue stream at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you've been have you been watching the Josh Harkness live show at all?
Not yet, because my wife is with the computer.
No, no, it's all good. So if you have a phone, you can tap into the Facebook app or go to Facebook, your Facebook platform on the web browser, and then you can go to the Josh Harkness show because we talk about this 5 days a week. Um,
Okay.
so that's one. Now two, we're gonna go. We got 20, 30 minutes. We're gonna give it a full scope on your
Okay.
question. So our show is based on real information in real time, based on real
Mm-hmm.
results, right? So I know me and you talked before. We got a lot of things started with you, which is great. You
Yes.
got your LLC, you got your distribution, you sourced it. I remember we had a conversation, so you got a lot of things in play. So what
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna recommend tonight, based on the question that you gave me just now, right? Just make sure you write it down because I'm gonna answer it.
Oh, okay.
So one, when we're talking about your personal credit, one, you want to get it clean, right? And then I think Labor Day we had a promotion where we're gonna fix your credit for you for free. So if you didn't get that promotion, it ended, but I'll extend it to you tonight. So just text me and say, hey Josh, let's do a one-on-one tomorrow, which is Sunday, and we'll get your credit and everything situated as far as getting it clean, right? So that's one.
Okay.
So when we are talking about, obviously moving forward and going to the bank and getting funding, your credit is the most vital thing that they're going to base everything off. It's not necessarily capital at that point, but if you are in good stands with your credit by having on-time payments and a good credit history, they'll extend credit to you. Now, if you're like a 400, 500, and you are a young person or old person, meaning you have bad credit, bad history, or you have an established credit, the first fundamental thing that you want to do, like we just talked about, is cleaning your credit, and then you want to move forward with establishing lines of credit, right? So in our show for the past 5 days, I give you every last name there is that we use for our clients, and as well as I use personally to build my credit. So I gave away
Okay.
$90,000 worth of new lines of credit that you can partner with, and I'm going to give that to you tonight as well. All right. So when we go to the bank and we use our personal credit to get a business loan, right? Or if we need to do that, then you can do it now. But now you're going to be back with $90,000 worth of lines of credit attached to your credit portfolio, so you're not going to have that problem,
Okay.
right? So that's one. So I'm going to give you that information. So in order to get funding from a bank with no business credit, in most cases they're going to use your personal credit. Now, if you don't have any personal credit at all, like I said, I'm going to give you the answer right now. You want to partner with two companies immediately, right? The first company is called Um, growcredit.com. This, yeah. So that's GROW credit.com, and that's about $15 a month to report on-time payments, which is very bare minimum, right? So every 30 days you pay $15 a month, and they record your payment to the credit bureau for on-time payment. That's one. The second one is, do you have Netflix right now?
Yes, I have Netflix.
All right, perfect. So you want to go to ExperionBoost.com and attach your Netflix account to the Experian Credit Union website, and just open up an account with them, and then you can use your Netflix account to record on-time payments, and that'll help you build your business credit. I mean, your personal credit as well. Okay.
So that's Experian.com.
That's Experian.com, and you're going to attach your Netflix account to the account, and then they'll report on-time payments each time you pay for that subscription.
Oh, wow.
Right, so that's something that you're already doing, and you don't need any additional money for that. Now, the next company is called Kickoff, and that's KIKOFF.com.
Say again? KIK.
OFF.com.
Okay, .com. Okay.
All right, this company, you only need $1 a month, and they record on-time payments as well.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, these are for, like I said, if you don't have too much money or you like bare minimum, it's cool. We get it. Now, let's talk about business credit, because this is very important. I know you just got your company together. So we have a list of companies that you should be partnering with to build your business credit. But personal credit and business credit is very similar as far as like the fundamentals of building credit, because credit, fundamentally is the same thing. In order to build credit on any level, you have to show that you're able to pay the company off whatever money that they lent you on time. That's the main goal, right? So if you are someone new and you get a secure card, even though you use your own money, they still looking at how responsive you are by paying that payment back on time. All right. But like I said, your question was, Josh, how do I get involved with the banks far as business wise getting funded if I don't have any credit and no money? So this is how you do it. Now, anything in most cases in your home, it doesn't matter what it is. Let's say if you're going to go out and go buy a USB cord, or if you're going to go out and buy sponges, or you're going to go out and buy paper towel and toiletries and certain things like this, like the bare minimum essentials. Once again, if it's $15 or $20 or $50 that you spend on your household in a month time versus you going to your local grocery store, remember, because you're a business now, you want to shop with business companies for your essentials now, right? Your regular household essentials. So I'm going to give you two companies that normally do it, and they also report to the credit bureau for the business EIN number. Okay, so this company is called Quill, right? And that's QUILL.com. I want you to go there and set up an account with them. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and that's QUILL.com.
Okay.
And the next company is going to be Uline, and that's Uline.com. Now, all your toiletries, electronical things, marker, pens, staples, you name it, vacuum cleaners, a laptop, camera, whatever it is that you can possibly think about, use those two companies. And I'm pretty sure either one will have what you need, but you want to attach your EIN number once you make those purchases, even if it's small or even if it's a big purchase, right? You want to use those two companies, because what's going to happen is they're going to give you a net 30, which we talk about this in a live show. So a net 30 is a vendor company giving you not just like a line of credit, but they're going to give you an invoice to pay off the bill in 30 days, which is the same thing as a line of credit. But the only thing is they're not going to put you through the bank, and they're not going to put you through holding your money as a CD. They're just going to trust you, right? They're going to mail you the invoice, and they're going to mail you the product within 3 days. What you have to do is pay that bill off 3 days prior to that bill being due. Okay? So that's called a net 30, meaning you paid nothing out of pocket today. They're going to bill you, right? They're going to send you an invoice in 3 days with the merchandise in 3 days. And then you pay that bill off 3 days prior to, to the due date. Yeah. And that's between Uline or Quill. And that's how you build business credit, right? Now, the key thing to building business credit and personal credit, even though I gave you those two ways to actually get started doing it, to get you a line of credit, to get your credit portfolio on both sides to the point to where banks will lend you big chunky amounts of money, you want to create 5 to 15 business invoices, the same way we just talked about it, right? And for your personal credit, you want to do 5 to 15 lines of credit, right? Meaning you want to find other companies, which I'm going to give it a list. Just remind me to give it a list. So we got, the list I'm going to give you, you're going to have over $100,000 worth of new lines of credit attached to your business and personal. So don't worry about that. These are just, the key ones I can give you now. And, you can get started immediately at a low cost or no cost at all, clearly. Now, so you're going to need those two functions. But as I said, the key part to business credit is 5 to 15 vendor net 30 accounts, right? And then for your personal credit, you want to do the same thing. You want to open up 5 to 15 lines of new credit, especially if you don't have any at all. But the goal is to get as much open as possible, because the FICO score and then your Paydex score, which is your business, credit score, right? They work obviously the same. Now I'm going to go into a little bit more details. I want you to just make sure that you grab a pen. So there's 5 steps to your business credit, as well as there's 5 components to your FICO score. So let's talk about your FICO score first, right? So the component to your FICO score is going to be payment history, right? New lines of credit, your credit utilization, the amount of the credit, and your credit history. All right, those are 5 components which make up your FICO score. All right, so as long as you know what that is, then you know how to stay in good standards. Because 1, you know that you're going to need new lines of credit. That's 1, right? Now you know that for sure. 2, you know that you need to have a good payment history. So what they mean by that is they don't ever want to see you late at all. So the rule of thumb with them is do not be late, because now you know how to play the game. So don't ever use your credit and be late. Just don't do it. Okay? So don't go 30 days. Don't go into collections. Don't go over 60 days. Don't go over to 120 days, because the game is over. You're going to have to wind up cleaning your credit over again. But we have a whole credit cleaning system put in place just in case things like this happens. Right? So remember, fix that credit now. We do service under that company, and we help you fix your credit, establish credit, and build credit. But that's the rule of the game on that one. Now, second is going to be your credit utilization, right? Meaning, once they extend credit to you using a secure card, or if you build your credit up to a 680, 700, based on the steps that we show you, you'll get a line of credit. Now, what they mean by credit utilization is that you do not, I know a lot of people talk about this, they do not want you to use more than about 30% of that line of credit. So if it's $1,000, they only want you to use $300 of it. Or $30 out of that. That's how tight they want it to be. But clearly a lot of people use it, they pay it off, and then there's certain campaigns that they have where they say, okay, Josh, we want you to, if you open up a new line of credit with us, we want you to spend $3,000 within the first 30 days, and then we'll extend another $5,000 to you, right? So they do different kind of incentive to make you purchase on the card, which is, in most cases for them, if you don't pay it off, then you're going to fall behind, and you're going to pay interest on the money that's lent out, right? So we don't want you to fall into that pit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to fall into that pit hole so soon, because there's a game that's being played. So clearly you still want to run it up to $3,000, but you want to pay it off before the due date. So another trick to credit utilization is going to be this. One, don't go below 30%. That's number one. Number two, if you are going to spend money for any, campaigns or sell events that's telling you to use your credit um, by doing purchases to get a certain kind of offer, what you want to do before you take on that offer is understand what's the actual due date for that card once it records to the bank. So if you don't know the day that's going to record, you don't want to do the offer, because you can get the offer today and then you may have to run up 3,000 within 14 days, and then you got yourself in a jam, right? You probably don't get the whole 30 days. So you want to know what's that due date, so you can get the offers. But like I said, credit utilization, use it 30%, or like we always call it in the industry, is like pretty credit. Just spend $10-$20 on the card, pay it off, right? Another tip that a lot of people don't talk about, I'm going to tell you tonight. In order to build business credit too, a lot of companies have been getting more savvy. So versus you, like let's say if you use your credit today for $20, you can't pay your bill off on time anymore or before time, right? Because it almost defeats the purpose of them lending you money, right? The idea is to use a whole 30 days. Now, before, rule of thumb was pay the bill on time, and that help you jack up your credit score. Like, it makes it go up when you pay it, before time. They're not doing it anymore. They want to make sure that you use the complete 30 days. So on that 30th day in the morning time, that's when you want to pay the bill. I hope you caught that, right? So, and let's say you use the bill on the 15th, like you use your credit card on the 15th, and then on the 30th is when the bill is due, right? Because it's still 30 days in a calendar day. They just want you to pay it off on the 30th. So make sure that's a thing too. I know a lot of people say, okay, if I got the 15th to the 15th, okay, you can fall in that trap if you want, but you want to make sure you know the date that payment has to be due, as well as the date that they're going to record your payment to the credit bureau. They don't talk about that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why if I use a card today on the 15th and then I paid off on at the end of the next month on the 30th, I'm going to be behind payment. Because that the equivalency is that the cycle, yes, is correct. That they want you to pay the bill for the 30th of the month. But if you made a purchase on the 15th or use a card on the 15th and then you paid off on the next month, the 30th, guess what? You're late.
So they want it the 30th of the same month.
They want it 30 days from the day that you actually made the transaction.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying? And on top of that, they also want it within the cycle. So you have to understand. You see what I'm saying? You have to make sure you write these things down, because if I use a card on the 15th, they still want that payment in on the 30th. Right? Even if it's supposed to be a 30-day cycle, but I use it on the 15th. So I'm in the cycle. Partially, I'm inside the cycle already for the 30th, if you understand what I'm saying. So if
let's say, for example, I buy something today, September 10th, so I have to pay the bill by September 30th.
You still have to pay the bill of September 30th, correct? Not the 10th of the next month, because that's going to put you behind.
Oh, that's sneaky. Oh.
Yeah, see, you caught it. So 2 things you want to notice: the day that you actually do the transaction, and then where you fall on that 30th day cycle. And you also want to make sure that you understand when they're going to record the payment to the credit bureaus. Now, these are questions that you normally ask your banker once you go down and do a secure card, or these are questions that you should be asking the person that's on the phone with you when you're doing these applications. Now, if you call in, of course, you're going to have to go through all the legal jargon, and then you probably never find the answer. So I always recommend going to the bank, do a secure card, or do it over the phone with a live person, and then make sure they answer the questions properly and make sure you write it down, or go to the online website. All right, so personal credit, one, you want to clean it and then build it with the 2 companies that we talked about. For your business, you want to do net 30s in the beginning with no money out of pocket, and you want to do bare minimum purchases with Uline and Quill for essential products like that you would normally use for your household. But if you have a home-based business, you can use it. You can use about 20% of household goods, I believe, for supplies for the home office. So you still get to write that stuff off, and you still get to use that towards your household or home office supplies. Now I know they did an update on what you can use exactly. So like I said before, if it's essentials, just double check it again.
Okay.
I think DOS department. I'll give the information for you to do. But I know supplies was like a certain percentage. I know traveling is a certain percentage, and I know equipment and things like that is a certain percentage. So just bear that in mind. So even though that you're gonna build your credit by using it, just know that there's only a certain amount that you can actually write off on your taxes. Is basically what I'm trying to say. You can still do it, but it's only a certain amount that you can actually write off on your taxes. But when we're talking about credit, you can definitely use it because it's going to help you build your invoices, and they're going to show that you paid everything off on time. Okay. And then I think the other question was credit, business credit, and then no money at all. So if you're opening up a company or just starting a company and you have no revenue sales, that's when you want to use two marketing techniques that we're talking about. So one is going to be physical marketing, right? The second is going to be digital marketing. And we go over this and we do live training on digital marketing as well as physical marketing. So the physical marketing campaign that you want to do is obviously flyers, right? You want to take it back old school. But what I recommend with flyers, because I know we all don't have all the time, time in the world, you want to only campaign around your area, right? So your local grocery store that you actually go to, your laundromat that you go to, right? The mail office that you go to, or even your apartment building that you take the trash out in, right? It doesn't take long to canvas those areas. Like even this week, I'm gonna do my campaign myself. I'm just gonna do it, while I'm jogging. I'm gonna have my flyers, right? So when I'm being healthy and I'm being productive. So I'm gonna jog. I'm gonna, put out my real estate flyers and my cleaning flyers for my small business, and potentially, get some customers by doing that. But the goal is to stay consistent, right? Don't change your flyer. Keep the same flyer and stay consistent, right? So let's say today you did flyers and another 2 days you do flyers, right? And then you should start getting calls. At some point there, you're just gonna wear them out. So, and also what I mean by staying consistent with physical marketing like flyers, or even going to your local restaurant and dropping flyers off, you want to keep everything on track for the next 3 months to 6 months. Because what's going to happen is, if you do it today and you don't do it for another 2-3 weeks, people not going to see you, right? So think about your physical marketing the same way that you would think about doing having someone run a commercial for you, right? Same time is on every week, just like Raymond Flanagan. Raymond Flanagan is on the news channel. They do their own marketing. They own like everything. They have their own marketing. They have in-house marketing, basically. That's why they're able to stay so consistent. But for me and you, on a physical level, definitely get out there and do flyers and just stay consistent. And then once you start making money, you can hire someone else to do it. But you want to apply that pressure every day. Now, like I said, it doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if you're selling CDs, a shirt, Chinese food, window, it don't matter. Once you say in front of that person, it's a wrap. Now that's one way, which is flyers, right? So doing flyers and campaigning your immediate areas like grocery stores, laundromats, where you live, restaurants that you go to, and things like that, and your local professionals, right? Now, when it comes down to digital marketing, it's even better, right? Because now you can actually attach yourself to passion groups that may already like what you're already selling. That's number one. So the only way marketing works is by getting that message in front of the people that need it, right? Meaning, if you have a Facebook page, or if you haven't set up your business Facebook page, you should do that. Bare minimum, right? Just put a picture of yourself and your product, or a video of you dealing with your product, or some kind of picture of your product, and then do a small video explaining your product or services. That's number one. That's highly recommended. I always recommend that. And then second, what you want to do is, one, attach yourself to all groups that's related to your product, and then also attach yourself to other groups that's semi-related to your product, right? So when you drop certain... No, I'm live. Once you drop that post or video about your product or service, you're already going to have a nice amount of people gravitating to your content, because they all like that kind of content already. That's the concept, Now, second, with digital marketing online using Facebook or Google AdWords or YouTube or whatever the case may be, they all have billions of people on these platforms, correct? So when you think about getting your post on YouTube, that's only a post. So like I said, the organic way of getting traffic online is by adding your post to groups that's going to support that actual product because they like it already. I hope you got that, right? So that's one. That's organic. That doesn't cost anything. Now for marketing online and doing it the paid way, it's called targeted marketing campaigns by using Facebook Ad Manager. Hope you write that down. So use Facebook Ad Manager. That's one, right? And then you're going to use Google AdWords. That's Google AdWords. So we took.
Okay, that's Google I have.
Okay, great. So you're going to use Google AdWords, right? That's one. And then you're also going to use Facebook Manager, Business Manager. Sorry, Facebook Business Manager. Right? Now, Google AdWords and Facebook Manager are very similar, right? They all do the same thing. Now, once you get into either or, let's see in Google AdWords, because you're not going to use that one, right? I want you just to remember the fundamentals of these platforms. So Facebook owns Instagram and Google owns YouTube.
Right.
Excuse me. So any ad that you're going to see on Facebook that you do is going to be on Instagram. And any ad that you do on YouTube is going to be run on Google AdWords. Right? I think both of these companies at some point gives away credit too. So you don't even need money. Once again, you don't need money out of pocket, because the first thing that you want to do on Facebook and Google AdWords and make sure that you get your marketing credits, they're giving away anywhere from like $100 up to $300 right now. So when you first start, you're automatically going to have credit put in place where you don't have to come out of pocket. So that's great. So make sure you just set up your business page for Facebook. So let's say you go on Facebook right now and your Facebook say your first name. Go down where it says create page, and then you're just going to say, okay, do you want to create a business page or a personal page? Click on business page and then set everything up. And then they're going to leave a credit in your portfolio, in your account. They're going to leave a credit for like $100, $300. Same thing with Google AdWords. They're going to give you a credit once you set up your business Google page, right? And then they're going to give you a credit there as well.
Oh, so you have to have your products.
No, you don't have to have your products. You just need to have your products pictures, right? So as long as you have your product pictures, and then obviously if you have your products on hand, that's great. But let's say like what I teach, especially when it comes down to like shirts and things like this, you want to set up your account with Shopify and Printify, because you can do basically shirts on demand. Meaning you don't have to have the inventory. You just need to get the invoice and make sure the invoice is paid, and then you give it to your supplier and you pay your supplier, the wholesale cost to get everything done, and then they ship it out directly to the customer.
Oh, okay. Shopify, I better put that down. Okay.
Yeah. You're getting all kind of juice over there. Yeah,
wow.
You should be calling. Good thing you called in today, so that's not a bad thing. But you got to call in more consistent. So you call in more consistent, we can get certain things done. So all right, so we got the credit, we got business credit, and we got your revenue, right? And then marketing at no dollars, so you don't have to spend. You're not spending no real money right now. I said the most you probably spend or borrow is maybe $100, but that $100 is going to get you about 6 months of of business, and everything I just told you about as far as getting free credit with Google and Facebook, that's there. Uline, you're not going to use but so much there, no more than $50. When we're talking about your credit, that's no more than $16 for the first 30 days. So it's not, we're not talking about anything huge, and we're not talking about like, even if you had to borrow it or just sacrifice maybe $50, $60 for the month, it's not nothing crazy, right? All right, so let's get to the marketing part for Facebook. Let me just do both of them real quick. So Google AdWords. The key thing with Google AdWords and marketing with them, with the credit that you're going to have, is make sure that you get in front of the right people. So if you're selling A, right? A can be shirts. Cool. Your main goal, and make sure you write this down. Anytime you're doing marketing campaigns on Facebook, YouTube or any kind of platform, you want to understand your ideal customer.
Okay.
Right? Your ideal customer, you want to understand what is going to take, or what it did take for that customer to purchase with you. I talk about this all the time. So if you have you gotten one customer so far in your business or no?
No.
Okay, that's, just make sure you put it down. That's your first goal. Because once you get that first customer, you're gonna understand how to get thousands of customers. That's how it works. Because it's the same process over and over and over and over again. That's it, right? So your first goal is to get your first customer. Now, like I said, you can do physical by doing, flyers in your local area and campaigning it. And then when we're talking about digital marketing, it's the same thing. But what happens with digital marketing is that Facebook and Google have so much data on the person that you're trying to get in front of. So once you have that credit is going to allow you to play in that data. That's basically what they're doing. So they're letting you have access to their data for X amount of time until that campaign runs out, right? So your goal, number one, is how to use that credit and how to use that credit to get the best results at low cost. All right, so we're gonna get to it. So make sure you write this down. So one, you wanna know the age of the customer that's gonna be buying your product.
So
your age group, right, or age, right? Okay. And you want to round about, so for the lowest to the highest, right? So age. The next, you want to know what state or what zip code your clientele is in, right? So if you want to do USA, just know that you're gonna blow your credit quick because that's a big demographic to deal with. $100 is not gonna go that far, so just understand that. So what I would do is just pick my local area that you had already been campaigning with your physical campaign, just match it with your digital campaign. And if you catch that, people are gonna say, "Wow, he's online and he's in person. I gotta figure this out. I gotta check this out. This guy is everywhere, right? I'm seeing a flyer and he's popping up on my Facebook page and on my Google page, right?" So age, and then you want to put zip code from a mile to 2 miles. But what I would do is drop that zip code for my local area. That's one. And then two, on Facebook and I believe on Google AdWords, you can put the names of the restaurant in your local area. So if you're close to Subways, put that Subway address as close to your house. So now when the customers go to there and they see your flyer there, every time they go to that location, they're going to get retargeted with that campaign that you have. A lot of people. You see what I'm saying? Boom.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to Golden Crust, if you go to local bodega, if you go to the grocery store, like these are all stores and companies that's already on the grid, meaning they already have a Google business listing. They have a listing with 411. They have a listing with AT&T. They have a listing, with Yup.com. So that's what you want to do too. So that's a little homework that you may have to do, but that's a leg up because you want to make sure that you use that credit the right way from Facebook and Google AdWords. So once again, once you do your campaign on Facebook and Google AdWords, you want to drop the zip code, and two, you want to look on Google Map and see what business that's in your area is listed on Google Maps. Because if you're using Google AdWords, guess what? On Google Maps, it's the same thing. So these two are because Google is Google. Ain't no way around it. Google information is going to share with Google information, if you get what I'm saying. So whatever business is in that area, just grab whatever address information they have on Google Maps and put it into your ad campaign. So whatever the zip code is and whatever the address is, or whatever the place of business is in that that's popping up on the map, put it in your ad campaign. So when people go to the business or when people are traveling in this area, they're getting slapped by your ad campaign because you have it set up at that location. So every time they walk in that door or leave that location, they're going to get slapped with your ad campaign too. Okay? That's called retargeting. That's also called geo-data marketing. All right? So that's good. So you got that. So the main thing you want to focus on is age, zip code, and places of business in the area. You want to add that to your ad campaign using Facebook and Google AdWords. The next thing is English, right? You want to make sure that you click English, or if you're in a heavy Spanish area, right, or French or Creole, you just want to put French because a lot of people who speak Creole speak French. So just put all the languages that's in your area and make sure you put that ad in that language, or basically what you're doing is telling Google and telling Facebook to reach out to these people who speak this language. That's basically what you're doing. So just make sure you add the languages that's in your area. Okay. Now the next part is going to be called interests, and we're going to talk about keywords. So the interest, and what I mean by that on Facebook or even on Google with the keywords, what they want to know is, one, how are people going to find your product? That's one. And what words are they using to find your product? Right? And then for interest, Facebook is saying, what do your customer like? How do your customer relate to you? Right? So, and what things do your customers search for to relate to you? So if I like basketball 9 times out of 10, the way that I'm going to relate to my customer who likes basketball is going to be what? The NBA, ESPN, and things like that. Fox Sports, right? So let's take it down even more. So if I'm selling t-shirts, the way that people are going to relate to t-shirts is by what? Brand name fashion, right? So Zara, Gucci, Fendi, Louis, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. You want to put all those competitors that sell brand name t-shirts or whatever that product or service is. If I sell insurance, I'm putting every last insurance company in my ad campaign. But since it's my campaign, they're going to be seeing my ad. You see what I'm saying? Even though they're gonna get hit with everybody else's ad, but they also gonna get hit with my ad, which is gonna give me better chances. Because if I just did a campaign with no one information or no competitor information, Josh is not gonna be relevant like that, unless I understand what my customer already wants off the rip. So the key part to what I'm saying is make sure you use competitors that's in your niche in your campaign, because that's gonna give you, don't reinvent the wheel basically. So whatever ad campaigns they're running, you're gonna be able to run alongside them to a certain degree, because that ad, them ad dollars that they give you, it's not gonna, it's only $100. That's probably gonna last for what, 30 days. But what's gonna happen is in those 30 days between Google ad and also your Facebook, you're gonna be able to get in front of thousands of people or even hundreds of people. And if you do it right, how we teach it, you want to get a CRM system put in place. You also want to put a lead form in place. So when a person click on your ad, you automatically retain their information, their name, their phone number, their date of birth, their address. That's what we teach on this side. You see what I'm saying? So now you got all that information, your $100 working for you, and on top of that, you should at least get one sale. You should definitely get more than one sale, but you should at least land on one person, right? So between physical marketing and digital marketing, you should land on 2 customers. Now I tell everyone, don't get your hopes up. Your main thing is to focus on how you got that customer. Right? Because the acronym that we follow is going to be research, test, sell, scale, and then automate. So the first thing you did was research, right? You did your research, you figure out what your customer wants and what they need, and then 2, you're going to test it. So the first 30 days with that credit that you get from Google and Facebook, you only going to use that money to test and find out how to get that first customer. It's not the end all be all. Because if you understand marketing is only brand awareness, right? It's only going to give you awareness. All it's basically saying is, hey, I'm in business, right? That's all marketing does. Marketing doesn't sell anyone, right? But if they like what you're talking about and there's a need there, there's a desire there, and they're motivated, yeah, they'll give you a call. Yeah, they'll go to your website. Yeah, they'll try to make a purchase with you. But what you're promoting has to make sense to them, or you have to make it make sense to them as well. So if it's a shirt, you want to sell what? The features and benefits of the shirt. You want to make sure that's there. If you have, if they go to your website, like I said before, you want to make sure that you explain what this product and service is going to do for them. If you don't do that within the first couple of seconds, then you're not going to be able to make a sell. Because that's what all the sell is. Marketing is the ability to get in front of somebody. Marketing is the ability to get someone, aware and of your presence and what you're offering. Now, the message, which is called the ad copy and the ad content, is going to be how you relay that information to them to make them want to come to your website and make a purchase. You see what I'm saying? So I always say, think about Burger King. Like, their commercials and the quality of the commercial is so engaging that you were like, yo, after you finish watching that, you be like, I think I want to go get a burger.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They got the steam, they got the juices, they got tomato jumping off the bun and all kind of crazy shit. So they make it very appealing. And that's how you want to write your ad content. You want it very appealing with features and benefits. And then on your visual, you want it so appealing that people are like, yo, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That shirt is amazing. Or that service is amazing. Look how he's dealing with the customer. Look how he's giving them experience. So that's how you want to focus that. But you know what I'm saying? So definitely, I think Sunday we probably do like a free training or webinar. So definitely try to jump on that. If anything, like I said, if you don't have the money just yet, always call in, get your questions answered, and you're good. But listen, the information you got just now is good. Make sure you give me a text message so I can send you the credit paperwork to fix the credit, 1, and then 2. I'm going to give you a list of companies that you can partner with to build your credit after you clean it. And I'm also going to give you a list of companies that you can partner with to build your business credit.
Okay. Sounds great.
All right. If you have any questions, just shoot me a text. And then tomorrow around like 3 o'clock, let's get everything done for you.
You got it, buddy. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. Have a good day.
All right. Later.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Well, that's Josh. That's the Josh Harkness Show. If anyone have any questions, please give us a call at 718-500-8705. I hope you guys enjoy that quick call from a customer. I met him like maybe a month ago. He got his LLC. He has his product. He sources his product. He has his lineup done. Like, amazing. He just called in today. And guess what? He had questions about building his credit, how to get revenue in his business, and how to build his business credit with using bare minimum income, which is great, right? And also no real money for marketing, and he got the inside scoop on that as well. So if you guys enjoyed it, please join us Monday through Friday. We go live normally at 8 o'clock. The latest is probably 10 o'clock, but we are pretty consistent. If you missed the live feed, don't go crazy. Just go to the Josh Harkness Facebook page, scroll down, and you guys will see the live feed. You guys can rewind it. Make sure you take notes. Other than that, today is Saturday. Every Saturday from now on, we're going to do at least about an hour to 2 hour Q&A. So it's going to be Saturday Q&A with the Josh Harkness Show. So you guys can have a chance to ask questions and just have a full experience on what we do here with our product and our services. But nonetheless, it's unlimited free access to me, and that's a game changer for a lot of people, right? So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back on Monday at 8 p.m. All right. Keep a lookout for tomorrow. We may do a little stuff tomorrow live too, but you guys will get the notification if you guys share, like, or subscribe to the Facebook page. All right. Peace, love. Enjoy your night. Make sure you guys wear a mask and don't party too hard. Later, guys. Thanks for joining the Josh Harkness Show.